In honor of Leo season and Mercury retrograde in Leo, we're going to get a little bit messy today. We are going to talk about the shadows of Leo energy and how to recognize if it's around you. Also, this video is sincerely dedicated to Susana Martinez and Tristosaurus86, who are community members of BS My Astrology, and I just want to say that I appreciate you girls for just being who you are. The reason we're talking about the shadows of Leo is because we are in Leo season and Mercury retrograde in Leo is bringing out a lot of these shadows. And it's good for us to understand what it looks like. We can recognize it within ourselves. And then we can also see when it's around us, okay? When it starts trying to attack you, okay? So here's what I want to say. A few foundational things about Leo energy. Number one is that it's actually the second fire sign in the zodiac wheel. We know that the three fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And Leo comes in the hot middle. Now remember, this video is about essentially how the shadow is built off of Leo. And when you put such a strong energy in the middle of two directions, Aries being the start of fire, Sagittarius being the wisdom of fire, the middle can have a lot to prove when it comes to what's its purpose. It has ability that Aries doesn't have, but it lacks the wisdom that Sagittarius has mastered over its history or experiences. So you have an energy that is very strong, very directed, very willful, but it's missing some wisdom and some tact to its approach. However, this doesn't ever stop the Leo energy. It's the sun, it's going to keep going and it's going to keep shining. No fault to it. But it's very similar to a child. It is so hard to really break a child's will because they are so directed and in the truth of their creativity, right? And in this world, in the earthly plane, the sun is very important. The sun is our point of expression and it has a lot to do with our purpose. Moving away from the fire sisters that it has, Leo is still a sister of Cancer. We want to see the zodiac signs as graduating from each other. So what really Leo is a confident, bold, and recognizable Cancer. Remember, it just came from the Cancer sphere. So Leo still has and holds a lot of emotional bandwidth. And we can say that some of this is a little bit immature, right? It's untamed, it's unfiltered, and it's really, really strong. So you have the occasional Leo energy that could go into the shadows of defending its very primitive and early stage emotions. Now, with the blended marriage of Leo and Cancer and the lack of Sagittarius wisdom, you get a pile of pride, of hot, unfiltered, undignified, steamy pride. And what that does is bring the classic traits of Leo that everybody discusses within themselves and each other. What's really interesting is that the sun doesn't know how to change. It doesn't know how to be something else. It only knows how to radiate stronger and stronger and stronger. So whenever you have a wounded Leo energy, it'll only magnetize and magnify itself more and more and more. And it tries to overshadow everybody, which is why it goes into gaslighting. One of the signs that rules gaslighting and narcissism is Leo. And that's because they don't really know how to change their script or themselves. They only know how to blow things up and begin mirroring, right? So you have the classic storylines that come in of Leo's trying to gaslight you and turn things around. Now, at the shadows of Leo, you also get the throwback of Cancer. Look at all the things I've done for you. Look at all the things that I've helped you with, and you in return give me nothing. You in return do it back to me, do hurtful things to me. And it really confuses the other people, the other person, because did I really do that? We're not keeping score like that. So when Leo is in this very defensive state of mind, it begins to crowd into its insecurities. And it's really hard to come up from that because it is paralyzing, the insecurity that Leo holds, but it is very hateful and hurtful to those around it. And the jealousy becomes very, very loud and extreme to the point where it's not hideable. Leo's not an energy that can conceal its true nature. It is very visible and forward, and nobody is being fooled outside of themselves. So it creates the paradox of becoming louder and louder and louder, while all the while holding its prideful stance with what it wants to do. What I think is also really interesting is that I would say Leo is one of the signs that rules manifestation. If you're in Cosmic Alchemy Academy, I talk all about this. I just did a class on this, on the ability to magnetize with Leo energy. And because of that, it makes Leo potentially really good at manifesting realities. However, when it's in the shadow effect, you have delusion, right? Where a Leo will want to believe what it wants to believe and it will walk in its own lies. Again, Leo thinks other people don't see this, but everybody else very much sees this. And it is the seeds of a narcissist, right? If you come to face with the wrath of a Leo, the shadows of a Leo, you want to have it understood that there is something you have that the Leo wants that it has not yet earned. Remember, it's lacking that sage wisdom. What the Leo is looking for is validation, recognition, and to be seen. And so it brings out the drama. And so it's good for everybody to know that you are never really the problem around the Leo. It's the Leo desperately not being able to find itself, find its gifts, and find its voice. And so it tries to take the light of others. That's what Leo is light, right? The sunlight. And if it cannot find its own or it rejects its own, it's going to want yours, right? Anyways, friends, we are in a very interesting Leo season, and I've been talking about this all month. So be safe out there. Stay safe out there from these energies, and I'll talk to you guys very, very soon.